In this video, we're taking a close look at SmartScout, a software built for Amazon sellers who want to have access to a comprehensive database to conduct deep market research, analyze competitors, track external traffic sources, monitor competitor promotions, and identify profitable product opportunities using real data from successful brands. If you want to try SmartScout for yourself, check the link below in the description and use code OrangeClick25 to get 25% discount for the first 3 months. And by the way, this session is part of our Demo Mondays video series where we invite Amazon software creators to present their tools just like this on the screen. Hello, Michael. It's nice to have you here again on Orange Click channel. And we will talk about SmartScout. It's a great intelligent tool for Amazon sellers, not only for private label, for wholesalers as well. We will focus mainly on private label tools inside the SmartScout. But before we jump to the kind of demo and presentation of the tool of itself, please, Michael, introduce and tell more about yourself, where are you coming from, and what you're doing at SmartScout.
Yes, absolutely. Augustus, thank you so much for having me back. It's funny because last time you had me, my beard was a lot shorter, so I was less wise, and hopefully I'm a lot wiser this year. Actually, August 28th will be my second year here at SmartScout. I have a really long and extensive career in e-commerce and e-commerce related software. I actually had 3 private label brands that I launched way back. Then I had a 4-year long career at Helium 10, a brief moment in e-commerce accounting at Connect Books, and like I said, my second year here at SmartScout, and it's been the most exciting of all 3. So, let's get to it, I guess.
Yes. Let's get into the SmartScout most up-to-date demo. So let's do it.
Awesome. So excited to do it. A lot has changed since I've been here. If my screen is being shared already, Augustus, I'm on the SmartScout website, but I'm going to click over to a little slide that I have right here, rather a page on our website. I want to start off by saying that SmartScout is a little bit different when it comes to Amazon-focused e-commerce software in the sense that um, our tools and features aren't necessarily like, hey, this tool is exactly for this feature is exactly for that. More so, you have really intimate access to this really powerful database that we've built, and you're really able to look at the market in a macro level and zoom down into the micro level. So that's what you can kind of see here. It's a really unique perspective that we offer. For me, typically, when I started my private label, and with the tools and features available at the time, most things were focused around keyworded search volume. And of course, you can do that kind of stuff on SmartScout. But what we also enable is this really crazy ability to zoom out, look at the macro, and look at the micro. So number one, again, market research is kind of our key. Competitor research is absolutely incredible, amazing. Actually, one thing we can look at, Augustus, that later on the call, which I think your viewers would love to see, and that interests me, is just taking a little peek at what Amazon is doing as far as Amazon Basics is concerned. Like, what categories are they launching in? Those are the ones I want to avoid. But also, it kind of adds perspective to the powerful tools here at SmartScout. So, I guess without further ado, why don't we dive in? So, I might be referencing this slide here and back. So let's dive in straight to the SmartScout dashboard. Once you sign up, this is what you'll be greeted with. And the core tools that we have, which would be categories, brands, sellers, products, keywords. Those are, again, they're like not necessarily like specifically for this or that, because each of our tools can be used in different ways for a different type of application. So private label sellers can use it different than wholesalers, and even arbitrage type resellers, including agencies and service providers also use our tools. So the way you want to kind of think about it is you can inject into our database using our tools, and then you can move kind of bidirectionally, and you'll get a good feel of that once you actually start using SmartScout. So let's dive in. Why don't I start off with the subcategories tool, because this is um, one of the most unique and interesting features that we have. So basically, this will be your absolute micro. I meant to say macro, your absolute macro. You can see the Amazon Marketplace from the absolute macro level. So what you're looking at right here, okay, we're looking at Amazon US, and we're looking at all of our categories here. These are top categories. So you can see like home and kitchen, $4.6 billion a month on Amazon, grew 34% still in the last 12 months, which is crazy. You can see Chinese seller revenue share, and we'll get down a little bit lower into some subcategories, and you'll see this is of course very relevant from the competitive perspective. But what like this might be a little like, hey, okay, great. Like, what can I do with this? Well, um, as I mentioned, it's a little bit of a different approach. So it used to be you come in and you look at different keyword search volumes to determine, existing demand and find like a product niche. But we're flipping that whole kind of strategy upside down. Rather, we can flip it upside down. So think how the biggest brands and sellers think. They're not necessarily interested in launching just one new private label product. They're interested in dominating categories, and they want to look at how the macroeconomic, I guess, factors are changing, and they want to succeed in the long run. So before I get lost here, in theory, let's dive into, well, before I do, a little anecdote um, about the use case for subcategories in the private label space. So uh, you might be familiar with an interview with Jeff Bezos, I think a year or two after he launched Amazon, or maybe three, once it really started becoming the behemoth that we know today. A reporter interviewed him and asked him, like, how did you come up with this idea? And he is basically responds, I was working at the hedge fund, and I saw the internet space growing at 2,300% a year for 2 years in a row, and I thought to myself, hey, I have to build something to tap into this growth. And the rest is kind of history. Amazon, although there was some failure he had before, but the rest is history. And Amazon, came onto the scene, and we're all working on this amazing marketplace. But the analogy is, what if I could, instead of looking at keyword search volumes down in the micro, what if I could focus on finding subcategories on Amazon that are stable or growing, and then find a product to go into? So I know I've been kind of talking a lot and staying on the same slide, but let's actually put that into perspective. So let's say, I like to say, I don't know, Augustus, why don't we be a little interactive? What major subcategory is your favorite subcategory to launch products into? Would be
Something for the household, maybe. Yeah, for the home.
Health and household. Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful. So health and household, $4.4 billion a month category. We see 31% growth in the last 12 months as a whole. Interesting, because this makes sense, because health and household as supplements, Chinese seller revenue share is a lot lower, because Chinese sellers don't necessarily want to deal with that crazy amount of compliance that comes around in that space. But so let's do this. So let's now try to look at, so of course I can click here and start browsing manually. All right, I can say, okay, well, let's say I'm interested in supplements. I can start drilling down manually and just exploring. We call this, what we're seeing here, if you're familiar with the Zillow tool in the US, when you're kind of browsing a house to buy or an apartment to rent, you can compare neighborhoods, see what an average price a house is. Like, we use that tool a lot when we were buying our house. We would see, hey, what kind of offer can we put? How has the forecasted price changed? It's a really powerful tool in real estate. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Augustus, because it is in the U.S. I don't know if it's in Europe, but most people in the U.S. are familiar with it. So you can browse neighborhoods. Like, I could say, hey, what's a vitamin B neighborhood? Okay, it's a overall, the whole neighborhood is worth $80 million a month. But then I can drill down. All right, well, a sub complex, or even a house, if you want to think of it that way, you can see, okay, well, it looks like the biggest B vitamin supplement category is the B7s at $17 million a month, and hey, it's still growing at 47% in the last 12 months. But okay, so let's actually apply some filters here, because SmartScout's all about filtering. We want to find some interesting subcategories. Think of subcategories as markets on Amazon to sell a private label product into. We're going to go from the macro to the micro and see there are some product opportunities here. So what I will do, and of course this is relevant to your thresholds and how you think about things. What I'm going to do is I want a subcategory that's growing at least 50% in the last 12 months. So I'm going to throw on a minimum 50% growth in the last 12 months. And then, the idea being that, if I go into that category and I find a product opportunity, even though it's going to be competitive, we're all going to still hopefully grow. So, and also, these are markets you gotta think. So we don't want anything smaller necessarily than, let's say, $1 million a month, right? Because that encompasses all the brands in a given subcategory, given market. You can kind of think about Amazon as like a composition. I forget the actual number of subcategories there are on Amazon, but I believe it's like 40 or 50,000. So you can think, hey, marketplace, like Amazon is the marketplace, it's a platform. But when you're competing within a market, it's just a market on a platform. So that's kind of an interesting way to think it. Okay, so Augustus, you were interested in not home and kitchen, but health and household. So now we got those two filters. So as far as B vitamins are concerned, we can see that it's the B3 niacin. It's a $10 million huge market, right? But it's growing at 60%, which grew at 60% in the last 12 months. That's significant growth for a market that's 10 million already. B8, a little bit smaller, growing at nearly 100% month over month. So if I were going to go into B vitamins, I would probably take a deeper look into the B8. But let's take a look at something maybe a little bit more niche, because as we know, these are going to be extremely competitive. We can, of course, see that right here, right? When we scroll over, we have all sorts of data. We have numbers of ASINs, we have numbers of ratings. So we can see the average rating a product has is going to be 1,000. So yeah, this is a very competitive supplement. So I'm going to look for something a little bit different. And let's see what we can see. Okay, this looks interesting to me. Oregano growing is a $6.7 million market, growing at 140%. And we've got, let's see, average price is another thing that I like to look at, because in the tool or electronics categories, you'll go really high. But here we have 28, so it's on the lower side. What about the B? So you see significantly lower than the B8s. So this one would be interesting for you. Augustus, any of these you find interesting that I could go into a little bit deeper?
Maybe let's take chlorella.
Uh, Lorella.
It's no
Oh,
CH.
cholera.
Yeah. How
Oh,
do you
what is
pronounce it?
isn't that cholera?
Cholera.
Oh, chlorella, yeah, chlorella. I believe that this is what comes from like the plankton, right? Like the farms, right? In the
Yeah, yeah, like from algae, like from the sea
algae, yeah.
algae. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I had a friend of mine that was actually from Europe. They were trying to figure out if they could contract a farm in Hawaii and make one of these. So this will be an interesting one. So we see this one growing at 61% in the last 12 months, a smaller market, 5.8 million. Price is a little bit higher. That might be preferable. Amazon is not really doing too much here, which is what we want to see. And there's only 90 brands. Let's dive in. Let's see who the biggest players are here. Um, so again, what I'm doing is I'm exploring a category to see about market opportunities. So some things that I see that I like to see, okay, it's not overloaded with too many brands. There's about 228 products, 80 sellers, and again, third-party sellers dominate here. Not much. So we also have average page score. So you know how sometimes you could look for private label product opportunities by seeing what listings aren't optimized but still selling well, and then improving the listing. I don't know how much we be able to do in that regard here, because most of these listings are quite well optimized. In fact, let's dive into products. So we're at the category. Let's dive into products and actually see what's going on here in terms of products. What do they look like? What kind of revenue are we talking about? So right now I clicked on products and we can dive in and we see, okay, it's going to be this guy, Grunz. Ooh, it looks like it is a superfood gummy. So it's a cholera gummy. I'm interested in this company, so we'll be going diving in deeper and figuring things out here in a second. But what we can see is they are significantly ahead of almost everybody else at $2.5 million a month. So that's a huge difference from, this is arranged by revenue. There's 228 products in this category. I mean, these guys are miles ahead of everybody else who has more of a supplement approach, as we can kind of see here. So this is one view that you can have here, and you have a lot of information condensed. You of course have the product title. You can kind of look at the products from a visual standpoint. You have page score, which tells you so 10 out of 10. Basically, this thing is super well optimized as far as title, bullet points, and description is concerned. Um, and it's still growing. This one product. So these guys are you see monthly units sold, all sorts of high level data. Meanwhile, so we know this guy is miles ahead, right? But let's try to think about, okay, well, can we still get into this market? Well, let's try. So to do that, I'm going to swap from a product view to a brand view. And so when you click on the brand view, you will see all the brands that are selling in this space, which is the color herbal supplement space, the market, and all their products. You can see Blue Nutrition has 10 supplements, so this combines everything kind of into one. And as we said, Grunz is way ahead of everybody else. So we've got the 90 brands in this case arranged by revenue, which is going to be directly correlated to their market share. One of the biggest things that SmartScout provides, biggest data points, most important data points that we provide is the market share. This is absolutely key to the way that you think about running your business or even diving into business on Amazon. In this case, what I'll be looking at is if I were to launch into this cholera herbal supplements market, I'm looking for something reasonable, right? Sometimes it'll be zero point 0.1, but let's say in this case it's about 1% market share. And this is going to tell me, okay, well, if I dive into this and I'm looking at achieving about 1% market share, what does it take to get there? Well, and what does it mean as well, right? So about 1% market share is anywhere between 57 and at near 2%, it's almost 100K a month in terms of revenue. The next thing I'm going to look at is numbers of ASINs, right? So if I'm starting out in a new category or even just launching my first private label brand, I want to make sure it's going to be feasible. So what makes me happy is there is one brand here with just one product and they have over 1% market share. That makes me think this is going to be feasible. Of course, I would also be looking at marking and analyzing the rating counts and average prices, units sold, things like that. So in this case, what do we need to get at least 1% market share? Well, we need at least one product, right? But the average would probably more than that. So we might need to have some sort of differentiation or variations based on what we're seeing with the competitors here. And then the next thing would be, of course, we would have to figure out on the supply side, are we able to, what are our costs, right? Um, and then from there, I'm gonna dive into a really, really cool SmartScout tool. So let us go into let's check out, I don't know which one of these we want to check out. Let's do, well, I would do all of them if I was really doing this, but let's do Sun Cholera as an example. It's got a little bit more market share. So let's go into Sun Cholera. So I'm doing some competitive analysis here. At this point, I would assume I have my potential product costs, some kind of estimate for a color herbal supplement. What I want to do is I want to see how so these competitors, okay, so Sun Cholera, and what is their product? Real quick, I just kind of clicked over quickly, but actually, wait, I went a little bit too quickly. So, SmartScout is so second nature to me at this point. I know I'm kind of moving very fast, but it just goes really, really deep. So, not to jump over too quickly, I am looking at a competing brand that has roughly 1% market share. I click on a little bit bigger one just to have a little more information so that I could show more on this brand dashboard for the purpose of the demo. But we can see that this brand, they only sell in this one market, color herbal supplement, which is great. In this case, because we want to see exactly this. They have a couple products. So these guys are just going crazy, it seems like, with different variations of products. And let's take a quick look at these products. So they've got, oh, I would have not expected it to look like this, to be honest with you. It looks very,
It's like feels like yeah.
yeah, this looks very like old school is what comes to mind. Okay, but fine, that's fine. I mean, this is, I guess, how they might be differentiating. But overall, as we can see, they do have these cholera supplements. So what am I trying to do here? Well, I want to click on search terms. So search terms at the brand level is going to take me to AdSpy. Now, AdSpy is an a la carte added tool to that you can add to an Essentials or Business Smart Scout plan. It's usually $197 a month, but if you come through, if you're seeing this on Augustus's channel, just reach out here and click on the chat to chat with customer support and just say, hey, I'm coming from Augustus's channel. I was told I can get this add-on at $50 a month, and you'll have full access to this. So what this does is basically you will see all the search terms that we're identifying this brand advertising on, and you will see an estimated ad spend for those search terms. So, what does this do for you? Well, one thing is, in this case, it's pretty easy because you saw that almost all their products are actually all their products are in this category. Because this is at the brand level, often you have thousands of keywords, so you have to really take these and filter them, export them, and filter out the ones that are relevant to a specific product you're looking at. But in this case, what this helps me do is it, I'm seeing the ad spend estimate, the monthly ad spend estimate per search terms that these guys are paying. So that is extremely helpful in terms of figuring out what, and I can add this basically to my, I can take this and divide it by their, like to just get a rough estimate, I can divide it by their like monthly unit sales, depending on the product that I'm looking at. And then you can take that figure and add it into, you can just use it like add it into your cost of goods sold and figure out, is the juice worth the squeeze to come in and get roughly, well, in this case, I looked at, this was 6% market share, but is the juice worth the squeeze to come in here? And what do I mean by that? Well, you're gonna get an estimate of the revenue, right? The revenue that a brand is generating. You're gonna have your estimate for your cost of goods sold as far as sourcing the product, and then you can add in how much customer acquisition, the most important thing, would cost. And if you're still, into a profitable range there, well, that sounds like a really, really great opportunity, right? And also it could help you not make a costly mistake. Because if you're going to hop in here and you have competitors that are dropping, tens of $1,000s a month on ads, that's going to be really, really difficult for you to compete with. So one really, really important thing is here as well that I didn't mention is ad spend share. So as I'm looking at these brands, we know that Gruns is absolutely crushing it, but they're also paying for that. They spend almost 50% of all the ad dollars within this category, with and it goes to all the search terms that all these brands are on with their products. It goes to grunts. So I mean, they're really, pay to play is is where they're at. I don't know if that's how they got here, but I would assume yes. Now, by that same token, let's look at another guy here. Look at this. 8Greens is 1% market share with just 0.7% of the ad spend share. This is a great opportunity. If these guys just tweak their ads, I've I can guarantee you they can grow in market share. So it's a really you can go all the way down from the category all the way down to the keywords. Let's now take a look at these grunts guys because guys, I'm just curious about how these guys got here, and it'll also help me show about some unique features of Smart Scout. So let's say you want to analyze the top competitor within a category and see what on earth happened here. So we can see these guys are a $5 million a month brand. Now, they sell in 4 different markets. Cholera herbal supplement is how we found them. Spirulina. This is the one I was thinking about, Augustus. That's the one that my friend was looking into, spirulina. But these are very related, right? I think they're like we talked, they're both made by the algae. So they're biggest in these 2 markets, and then they're also, let's say, dabbling and messing around with mushroom herbal supplements and herbal gummy candies. I guess that's probably negligent. But let's see. So first of all, I want to click on products from the brand perspective. And I'm just curious, like, was this the first product that this is the big guy here. Was this the first product that this brand launched? I'm just curious. So just to see what was the first product that this brand launched. I think one of the best ways to learn how to build and or launch a successful brand on Amazon is to study the brands that really hit it out of the park. So what am I doing here? I just scroll to the right to see an additional data point, which is going to be parent ASIN. As you can see, to save space, we combine two data points within our tables. So I'm looking for this one, launch date. So, I clicked on it right now, and hopefully in a second here, okay, no, that's not okay, yeah, so let's see, yeah, so now I have everything chronologically, arranged, and what I wanna see is the first product that these guys launched the most successful product? And guys, it looks like in this case, it is. This was launched in 2023, and everything else was launched after that, so that's interesting. Sometimes you see a brand pivoting in many different directions, and it kinda gives you a lot of perspective of the different, kind of opportunities that a brand went through to see how they succeeded. But in any case, we kinda see, okay, so they started with the cholera supplement. If I can stretch this a little bit here, we'll see the full title. So, I mean, as far as keywords in the title, you see there's stuff it really a lot. But this top one we know or actually, wait a minute, interesting. So, yeah, this is the one. See, cholera is in the top here, even though it's a combination. And as far as category, this one's in one major category and this one's in another. That's interesting strategy there. If you guys caught that, so these are gonna be actually, well, let's say this guy here and this guy here are, like, to me, these looks exactly the same, right? And they both have cholera, and it seems like they both have spirulina in both. But look what this brand has done. They've dominated the cholera herbal supplement category with this guy, and then they have a completely other ASIN that they are dominating another whole category with. So, and it's, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it could be the same product, more or less, right? It could be just a switch. So this is very interesting. Um, okay, well, let me show you some other cool things that you can do with SmartScout that we didn't have last year when I met with you, Augustus. One thing we have at the brand level is going to be promotions. So promotions, just clicked on it, but we'll see. So promotions is cool because it tracks the actual promotions that a brand ran on Amazon, and you'll be able to see exactly what they did in terms of Prime exclusives and lightning deals. So we're looking at July here. It goes chronologically. The higher your subscription, the more further back you're able to go. This looks like a newer brand, by the way, guys. So one thing, like it goes back to 2024, and we saw they launched this in 2024. This is an experienced seller. We're gonna check that out in a sec too. So look at this. So this would be for Prime Day. If I was competing with these guys, I would be able to look at basically the exact Prime Day promotions that these guys ran. It looks like they didn't run any lightning deals, and it looks like they ran. So we could see they for this guy, they ran this promotion. It was 25%, and it was on these dates, and yeah, from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. between these dates, and it was a 25% average discount. Why is that relevant? Well, if I'm competing with these guys, if I on Prime Day did a 50% promo and my biggest competitor did only an app, here it's all the same. They didn't do much, but if you're looking at a bit of a different, bigger brand, you'll see different types of promos. Then I would say, okay, well, I didn't have to do 50% off because they only did 25. Maybe I could have still trumped them at 35% off. So it is, again, competitor analysis is so powerful on SmartScout. So that's a cool feature, new feature that we have that we didn't have last year. I'm also going to show, this is my favorite new feature that we have. So on the product level, so I'm gonna go, and as you can see, Smart Scout stacks. You can see, so we in the research that we went all the way from the subcategory level down to some brands we were looking at, and now I'm actually clicking on an individual product, so it stacks like that. And I could have started at the brand level, and then it would stack down. And if I wanted to look at categories, it would stack to the right. The Smart Scout interface, the research interface, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's second nature and it's awesome. So this is when I click on a product, I'll see product details, like key details. I can click on search terms. Actually, Okay, before I show the really awesome feature, let me just do a general like if you're looking at the ASIN level, just to show you the kind of detail you can get into. If you click on search terms at the ASIN level, I will be able to see um, I will be able to see basically top organic search terms, which would be page one search terms. So in this case, we're looking at 781 search terms that we've identified this product showing up for. You will see the search volumes, the estimated 30-day search volumes for those search terms, the change in that, the buyer intent, and you can actually click on a little graph here if you want to see it in greater detail. So you can see, oh, I guess we lost some tracking there, but um, you would be able to. So we track every product. You could see a 30-day view. If you wanted to um, track one indefinitely, you can. If I wanted to click on this loop and then click on track, then this keyword for this ASIN would now be tracked indefinitely. And it would show a little target here. And then if I click on this, it would keep going for into perpetuity. Okay, so that's really cool. So you see the search term distribution, just macro level details, keyword frequencies, how many sponsored products we're identifying under these keywords. You can go in and see that in greater detail. Also at the ad spy level, so I would be able to see all the keywords that we're seeing advertising on. Here we are. So we see all the keywords that we see ads on related to this product, and we would see percentage win rates as well as search volumes. One really, really awesome feature that I love is called Keyword Detective. And you can do Keyword Detective at the product level and at the brand level. So, what this does is it shows a series of Venn diagrams. Basically, you choose three products and you see your own, right? So, and you see both organic and paid. So, in this case, we pulled in one of our own brand products. That's all you need to select, but for the demo, it's going to be fine. So these Venn diagrams, what do they show you? Well, they show you all the keywords you're indexing for. So these keywords in the middle here, my two biggest competitors, as well as I, were all indexing for those keywords. But my two biggest competitors, they're indexing for these keywords here that I'm not. So I can go ahead and click on that and it's going to load and it's going to show me all the keywords that for whatever reason my ASIN is not indexing for, but my two biggest competitors are. Now I would, look at my listing and figure out why I'm not indexing for these keywords and if I want to. So that's why I really love this feature. And you can do the same thing on the paid side. You have the Venn diagrams. You will see you and your two top competitors, and you'll see, all right, here are all the keywords that we're all advertising on. And then here you could see these are the top keywords that my competitors are both advertising on, but I'm not. I could also look at individual competitor, of course, and the keywords they're advertising on. So boom, I can click on this and I can figure out why am I not advertising on these keywords? Did my campaigns eliminate them because of too high cost per clicks? I don't know, but it's something worth looking into. You want to do a periodic analysis like this to make sure you're competitive on your ad side. Finally, on the keyword side, we have a really another cool chart, the relevancy quadrant. It gives you perspective into there's a huge keyword distribution, but what are the target keywords that you want to focus on? And this helps really make that pretty clear. We basically map high relevancy with high search volume, and you're in this target quadrant, and you can see these are the keywords you want to focus on. So really like that. You can also have a grid view, which will kind of just list it as a grid. And now, the feature that we've all been waiting for, or the one that I was really most excited to talk about, link traffic. Now, I don't know if it's going to show up for this specific product because it really is link traffic. So what link traffic is, and wait, oh, okay, so this is interesting. So they've only got two sites. So basically, link traffic, what it does is it will show all the sites and blogs, basically external sites, not social media, but actual physical sites that we have identified sending direct traffic to a given ASIN. In this case, it's only two. So I'll probably let me jump on one and find more just to expand about how awesome of a feature this is. Basically, as you guys know, Amazon is rewarding external traffic through brand referral bonus, and also it's an absolutely amazing strategy to boost sales and gain market share. when you gain market share, your customer acquisitions falls and your profits rise. And we all know in Amazon space, revenue is not equivalent to profitability. You always have to focus on profitability. But I digress. Let's focus on link traffic here. So I clicked on brands, and now I'm looking at, I could filter all the brands that we track on Amazon. I'm gonna click on, I don't know, anyone. Which one of these big brands interests you, Augustus? Which one do you like? Just any brand for example's sake.
Adidas.
Adidas. Let's go into Adidas. I am actually curious if how Adidas is leveraged here. So from Adidas, I'm going to go directly into Adidas products. As we know, there will be thousands. I'm actually curious what the best-selling Adidas product is. Let's see. Okay, best-selling Adidas product. It's crazy how such a multi-million dollar brand. Like we just saw gummies selling 2.8 million a month, 2.4, and the best-selling Adidas product only sells 355,000, and it happens to be a super simple backpack. I'm shocked. Anyway, but let's actually use that as the example. Let's hop into, so again, link traffic is at the ASIN level. I'm going to hit link traffic right away, and let's see if this particular product is gaining any external market share. Okay, yes, it is. So, and not a lot. I want to show one with like pages and pages, but this is fine. So, what's happening here is we're identifying five sites that are sending traffic directly to this ASIN. So, what is happening here? Um, I don't know if people know, but about a third from the last time I saw this published, well, don't quote me on this figure, but about a third of Amazon revenue actually comes through affiliates. As you know, they have the biggest affiliate program in the world. It's called Amazon Associates, and people get compensated for sending traffic to Amazon and getting conversions. Actually, it's on the cart, so if they drive traffic, it's not just if that product converts. So there's some nuance you can learn about it. But the idea is, if I'm selling a backpack competing against Adidas. And of course, I would have a list of competitors that I would look at link traffic. And I am not getting link traffic from all these five sites. And probably if we were to go into backpacks, um, I I would just go through every single competing product, click on link traffic, pull these sites, and then have a VA reach out to every one of these sites and ask them to also send traffic to my product. And that would definitely drive more external traffic. So this is just, I mean, of course, I'm in the partnership space, so I love this, but I think many people can appreciate this. So actually, let me go deeper on it. So okay, so Adidas products. Let's actually look at Adidas from the subcategory perspective. What are the biggest markets on Amazon? So their best-selling product is a backpack, but I would think like their biggest, maybe shoes would be their biggest. Yep, men's running road shoes. But laptop backpacks is actually their fourth biggest market, and they're growing here, 5% market share across Amazon. Let's actually dive and see. Now I'm going back and forth, right? We started in a one demo, we went from macro all the way down to micro. Now we're just looking at a brand, and now I'm interested in backpacks just to see. I'm going straight into the backpack subcategory, and I want to see. I'm just curious in the laptop backpacks, like what's the best selling backpack? We saw the Adidas one doing quite well, but who sells the best selling backpack? And then I want to see as far as external traffic, like traffic, how are they doing there? So we've got, okay, happens to be look as the North Face is the best seller right here at $1.6 million. So let's check out if the North Face backpack has more external traffic coming in than the Adidas one. Actually, it does not. It has less. So they maybe have more ads or something like that. But you can see how this is useful. Also, just for pure interest, we can look at laptop backpacks and like what from the brand level, because now we're getting into, we saw like 10 different variations of that same backpack there. So who is actually the dominant brand as far as laptop backpacks are concerned? Oh, it actually is the North Face, followed by Jansport. Okay, and well, they have hundreds of ASINs, followed by look, a Chinese brand has almost 2,000 ASINs. So hopping over here, I wanted to show another feature called segments. Segments allows you to be, so you know how we looked at the single subcategory cholera supplements But the fact is, then we later learned that the brand is leveraging other categories with similar products, which is a brilliant strategy. You can actually gather that data in an effective way using segments. So you can do anything. You can upload. You can start with anything, either sellers, search terms, products, brands, and we'll then put that market together, put that ecosystem market together for you. So I'll show you how to do like through products, just as an example. We were looking at cholera gummies. So what I'm gonna do is so this is now searching products, and I'm gonna have products with the product title, and I'm gonna include cholera. I hope I spell it correctly. Like this. It's gotta be. Okay. So, what's happening here? Okay, so what's happening here is now what I'm doing is I'm searching across all of our products, the titles, and picking up every single product that has this chlorella keyword in the title. And I'll show you what that changes. So just naming my segment here. So what's going to happen now is now we are going to pick up products in across every subcategory. So we actually see there are 45 different subcategories that have that keyword, that products with that keyword in the title. So the category that we found the brand because I did want to show one more thing on the brand side. The main product we kept looking on Adult Demo, probably the best seller here, right? Uh, I can easily click over to all the products, right? So it was this guy right here that we discovered from Grooms, right? So when I started looking at this, so this started getting sold 2024, so very recent, and it was an immediate bestseller. So I just forgot to show one crazy thing that you can do on SmartScout because I am curious because that's kind of like, a really quick success story. So I'm just trying to make my way back over to the brand we've been looking at throughout the demo, right? Gruns. And I wanted to see two things. One, I want to see how these guys are doing across marketplaces. Like, is this just a US bestseller? Happens to be so, probably because of compliance reasons. But I was thinking I might see other markets here because of that U. I was thinking maybe the seller is actually a German seller. And okay, so interesting. So we have the brand and we have Grunz as the main seller here, which we're gonna look at in a second. Actually, let's look at him right away. So the brand is the brand, but who is the seller behind the brand? Does the seller have multiple brands? Okay, so these guys are out of Oregon, actually. Let's see. Is this just a seller just that they have one account just for this brand? In this case, yes. But sometimes what you'll find is you'll find a successful brand, and then you'll find a seller, and the seller has multiple brands. And you also can kind of see and study how the seller, like what was the first brand the seller launched? How did it go? What products did they launch first? And you can kind of see sellers succeeding on Amazon. And again, learning by the different iterations that they took helps you potentially avoid mistakes, but also kind of understand how brands, what kind of pivots brands make to succeed on Amazon. So we did see actually another seller here, interestingly, Infinite Supplies. They are only selling one product, but hey, look at that. They're selling 250,000. So it's got to be that main product. What I would assume happening here, is this guy is he's picking up inventory somewhere, but from the perspective of Gruns, I want to know, hey, why am I not getting this 250,000? Why is he getting it? So that's something you can monitor with SmartScout. And if this is not a legitimate seller, this is a supplement, you can kind of figure out where are they getting my inventory? Is it official inventory? Of course, you would see this in the buy box on your product alone, but you can kind of learn more about this specific seller and kind of get really down into the nitty-gritty from that perspective. So yeah, so this seems to be just a reseller strategically picking up inventory and reselling it. Yeah. So that would be kind of, really showing how you can dive into the database and move all the way between you can start at a brand level and go in deeper or move up and to see how the brand scales up in terms of the market. Some of the tools that we have that that are more like, well, this tool is specifically for this. I didn't get a chance to show our extension, so I'm going to quickly pop that open just to show it. Our extension currently works just on the product pages, but it is quite a powerful extension. And in fact, it's free for 1,000 uses a month, so you can I mean, you can use this extension even just to see before you're buying a product if the deal is great. Okay, I'll show that in 1 second. So you can see the extension loading here. You'd see some top product level information as far as page score, bestseller ranks, 30-day revenue and units sold, price changes. You can click on search terms here right away within the extension, and you'd see a similar. Oh, whoops! I guess something broke for me here. I forgot. But you'd be able to see the same search terms that we kind of showed in the back end. This is for resellers. You can see like a resale score based on these sub scores, so less relevant for private label sellers. Uh, you'd see if you're eligible to sell this product. In this case, I'm not. You'd see that it has variations. This is more stuff for resellers at the top here. But this could be used by everybody in terms of if you're looking at a competitor to quantify whether you have a margin or not. We're going to factor in all the Amazon prices. You can put in a sample price that you're acquiring the product for. You can put in additional costs, and then down here, as I was mentioning, you have access to kind of the chart of buy box price, rating count, new offer count. Even if you're just seeing whether this product is on sale or not, or whether they're just raising the list price and dropping the buy box price, you'd be able to see that. You also get brand information with it here. So we see this product is doing 2 million, but the brand is 5 million. And you can also hop over. We see other products from this brand that also have a high score. So our extension is pretty useful and powerful as well. But then hopping back into SmartScout within the app, I did also want to show, so AI Listing Architect, this is great for very quickly optimizing your listings. So from the private label perspective, if I wanted to quickly build a listing, what I would do is I would build from scratch. I would put in my top, I think it's at least three, but you can go up to, I forget the full number, but you build it based on your competitors. And then what Smart Scout does is I'm going to open a previous one just as an example. What Smart Scout will do is it'll find the competitors to the seed competitors, or you can build from an existing listing and it'll pull the competitors automatically. It'll identify the search terms that the competitors are ranking on, figure out what the search volume and relevancy is for those keywords, and then with one click, you can optimize a listing. You can choose a tone. Well, basically using AI and the Smart Scout competitor data to optimize for the product title, bullet points, and description. So very straightforward, combining competitor data and of course AI to build a listing very quickly. If you want to, you can tweak it here. Do checks. You can include your own keywords. You can eliminate keywords. Whatever you want. You can do some customizations. But within seconds, I've created a brand new listing that's optimized. I think in this example, let me see if this was a good example. In this example, the listing looks like this. So you can in seconds take a listing from something like this to something like this, which of course is going to perform a multitude better in terms of organic rankings and indexing. So we have that. Another cool feature. So we have UPC scanner. This is mainly used for resellers, but it's very cool. What you could do is you can just import a CSV file with ASINs you're interested in. You can upload an ASIN or a UPC, and when you upload that, we pull in all that everything else from Amazon in terms of their buy box price, their titles, the fees. So you can kind of do a table comparison of your competitors if you wanted to, or if you but I mean resellers use this a lot when they get a catalog of products to see if they'd be profitable to sell on Amazon. Another one, this one's cool and it's awesome. It only works for the States. It would be what's called buy box map. Now this is important from a couple perspectives. Number one, shipping speeds, right? So you want to see in the States if your inventory is spread. So this is an interesting situation happening here. So two things to highlight here. One, you see shipping time by speed per state. So 0 would mean like you can get it same day. And you can see the seller that owns the buy box. So this shows you who owns the buy box. So if I am the main brand here in gold or in yellow, whatever you want to see, for whatever reason, I'm having some issues here in the upper northeast. Now, this guy is owning the buy box here, and so I don't know why that is. So it looks like the price seems to be the same, which means that their inventory is more likely in the fulfillment center, and Amazon is prioritizing them because they're able to ship their inventory to the customer faster. So as the brand, I would need to make sure my inventory is sent to this fulfillment center. You can do that on the back end. Same thing here for the upper north east. But you can see these guys are leveraging something a little bit different. They're lowering the price. You can see the buy box price here is 35, and these guys have 36. So I might need to use a programmatic repricer to battle these guys out of this area here. That's also another strategic thing. I don't know if you can I don't know. I mean, we don't have a repricer, but there's a bunch out there that you can use. I don't know how if they can actually like um control the price for a region. I don't think they can necessarily, but they can make sure that you only do it temporarily. Because if you are deploying ads and you don't control the buy box in such a huge amount, like this I would say is a third of the sale, like third, like you get West Coast. Um Texas and the South. And then this would be, I was thinking, like third of the market, right? Chicago, New York, like all these huge cities. So you need to solve that. If you're deploying ads, people clicking on ads from these regions are buying from somebody else, not from you. So super important tool. It does currently only work in the States. So was that a cool one, Augustus? Have you ever seen something like this?
Yeah, this map is cool. It's really nice.
So yeah, you punch your ASIN in here or ASINs and it'll show you those details. What's it called? So this would just be keyword search trends. You would see this is keyword search trends on Amazon. You could actually punch in a seed keyword that you're interested in or go by specific category. And then you can explore different searching. As you see, back to school. My kids start school again next week. So we can see, teacher supplies, all those things are trending up. Jansport backpack, funny enough, we looked at backpacks on this call. So Jansport backpack is definitely going up in the last 3 months. It's a cyclical trend, as we know. And look at that. You've got the Jansport is at the top, but right for that keyword, Amazon Basics is swooping right in. And that's one thing I wanted to do on this call, and I forgot to do it. We wanted to look at Amazon Basics. So I will show this quickly because this is kind of a unique use case. So we all know and we hear those horror stories of getting crushed by Amazon Basics. Um, I want to know what Amazon Basics is up to so I can maybe avoid products launching into those categories. How do I do that? Well, I'm hopping into Amazon Basics as we speak, and we're seeing they have dozens of categories they sell in, $233 million a month, of course. So click on subcategories. So we'll see from here, we're gonna have how many? So almost 1,000 subcategories. So 1,000 markets that Amazon Basics has already dipped their toes in. Copy and multiple multi-use, multi-purpose paper is their biggest here. Not that that's kind of a great innovative product unless we're an office space world, right? But I meant to say The Office. How am I doing this? Using this as a private label seller? Well, let's flip market share upside down, right? Or market share change. I want to see the markets where these guys are exploring getting into to avoid those. So, okay, they got 0 here. So that's not that maybe that concerning, but hey, they've had some activity in these categories. I guess they've shut products down. So that's another interesting thing you can see. So you see maybe categories that they've dipped their toes in and shut down. But maybe it's okay to go into those categories, but I would generally avoid or try to avoid every subcategory from these 1,000 subcategories that Amazon Basics is in. Uh, and if I wanted to see where they're really dangerous, I would look at market share change. Now, market share change is a data point that's only available on business and beyond. But so let's see where they're losing market share out of curiosity. Oh no, I clicked twice. So we'll see where they're gaining the most market share. Private brands. I don't know what that is actually. I'd have to look, but that might be something specific to the catalog. But writing supplies and correction supplies or serving utensils. So these are subcategories where I would be very, very weary of getting in, even though they're tiny. But look at that change. Like they're going to dominate here. So laboratory notebooks, the dog hard-sided carriers, I would not, hammock stands. So this is the kind of unique stuff you can do on SmartScout. I just wanted to hop back into this because I forgot to earlier. All right. Well, that will be it for today as far as the different tools and features that I showed. As you can see, SmartScout goes really, really deep, but it's a super, super, super powerful database and suite of tools. And you need to be looking at all these factors if you're going to get ahead of your competition. We like to say at SmartScout is that using our software, you actually get to know your competitors on Amazon better than they know themselves in many, many cases. So I'll leave it at that. And of course, if anybody has any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to me either on LinkedIn or I'm Michael Rads at smartscout.com. Just as you can include in the notes if you'd like. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael. And also, if you want to sign up for Smart Scout, you can use our discount code OrangeClick25 and you will get 25% off for the first 3 months. And yeah, if you listen carefully, you can get 75% off for AdSpy, additional tool, which usually costs $197. So check this out in the video, how to get it. And yeah, thank you very much, Michael. And until next video, bye bye.
Yep. Thank you, Augustus. And I'll add that the first 7 days are money back guarantee, so you can try risk free.
I hope this video will help you to conduct powerful market research and competitor analysis on Amazon using SmartScout. And if you want to try this tool for yourself, you'll find the link below in the video description. And don't forget to use code OrangeClick25 to get 25% off your first month if you decide to use SmartScout in your business. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons on our channel and leave any questions you have in the comment section below, and we will ask SmartScout representative to answer them. And now I recommend you to watch another video where you will learn how to optimize your Amazon product listings for Rufus AI. So check this out.